What's the worst thing you've ever stepped in? Well, let's try to avoid discussions of the slimy, the smelly, and the obvious, shall we? I'm pretty sure my question has already created a great illustration in your mind. So let's just leave it at that for right now. But this morning we're going to talk about watching your step and what to do when you've already stepped in it. But first I want to say welcome to Mornings with Bishop Robert. My goal is to introduce you to the Jesus you never knew and to help you get to know him and his word personally and better. If you enjoy our time together today, I'd appreciate it if you'd like this video and then even share it with a friend. Today's verse says, "My eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he'll pluck my feet out of the net." Now, when you were thinking of the worst thing you ever stepped in, I'll bet a net wasn't even on your list. But let me put the question this way. Has anyone ever deliberately set a trap in your way? Because the word that's translated net comes from the Hebrew word for a snare or a trap. And that changes the equation. Sure, we need to be careful not to step in disgusting things as we walk about, but most of us are pretty good at that. But the traps and the snares of life, now that's another story. Sometimes they can be hard to spot. They're actually designed to look like something they're not. A fisherman puts his bait on the hook for two reasons. First, he intends to attract the fish's attention. He wants to use its senses to draw it close. But second, the bait also disguises the hook. The fish focuses on the bait and never sees the hook until it's too late. Snares and traps come in all shapes and sizes. Yeah, traps and snares and hooks, but also sin. And in the end, they're all the same. Now, you and I each get tempted when our own evil desires notice the bait our enemy has set out for us. He's trying to get our eyes on the bait so he can lure us away from where we ought to be focused and entice us to take a bite. Now, the bait doesn't look like bait. Looks like something that we may want to have, even if we shouldn't. The enemy isn't stupid. If the bait he's using isn't working, he'll change it. He wants to use that bait to change attention to desire. He wants you to want the bait. Friends, we can't let that happen to us. Because after desire is conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, that's stepping in it. The problem is that one sin tends to lead to another, and then to another, and that's when the hook is set. Now look, I may have accidentally stepped into a pile of something nasty as I walked down the street, but I've never gone back and deliberately stepped in it over and over again. I mean, maybe we need to apply the same logic we use with dog poop or chewing gum to the sin in our lives. Because sin gives birth to death every time. Game over. But God speaks to us in his word, teaching us the way we should go and counseling us as he watches over us. Keeping our eyes on him accomplishes a lot of things all at once. You can't look in front and behind all at the same time. When your eyes are on him, you won't have your eyes on the bait. And we always move in the direction our eyes are looking. So this gets us further and further away from the point of danger. My eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he will pluck my feet out of the net. The second part of that verse comes into play because, well, all of us have stepped in it already. We all have a sin problem. But God loves us enough to take our feet out of the traps we've already stepped in and clean us up and invite us to follow him. ask God to pull your foot out of the trap. The worst thing you've ever stepped in can't hold on to you when he releases you. Jesus will set you free. And all you've got to do is ask him. Hey, before I go, can I ask you to help me with something? I told you my goal is to introduce people, more people, to the Jesus they never knew, and to help them get to know him and his word personally and better. Would you like to help? Liking this video will help more people see it. Then click follow so you and I can get together every day. Hey, and I'd love to meet you down there in the comments section and hear your thoughts about traps and getting out of them. It's also a great place to leave a question. And one more thing. Share this video with a friend, would you? You and I are a team. We're touching hearts with the love of Jesus all over the world. Thanks for helping.